You step out of a BMW and into a Mercedes. Different badge, different price point, maybe even different performance figures, but somehow, fundamentally, they feel identical. The same smooth, isolating ride, the same muted engine note, the same numb steering, the same digital interfaces presenting the same information in slightly different fonts. It's not just German cars, it's everything. Japanese sports cars feel like European Grand Tourers, feel like American muscle cars, feel like Korean sedans. They all accelerate with the same immediate linear power delivery. They all corner with the same planted, predictable composure. They all brake with the same confidence-inspiring, fade-free performance. On paper, they're better than cars have ever been, more powerful, more efficient, safer, more capable, but something's missing. That indefinable character that used to make a Honda feel like a Honda, and a Porsche feel like a Porsche, and a Mustang feel like a Mustang. Modern cars are technically superior, but emotionally flat. And once you notice it, you can't stop noticing it. Chapter 1. The homogenization of feel. There was a time when you could tell what car you were driving blindfolded, not just by the badge or the interior, but by how it felt. A Mazda felt eager, responsive, alive. A Volvo felt solid, stable, reassuring. An Alfa Romeo felt passionate, temperamental, slightly unhinged. Each manufacturer had a philosophy, an approach, a character that permeated everything they built. Now, get in any modern car, and the experience is largely identical. The steering is light at low speeds, appropriately weighted at highway speeds, and provides just enough feedback to feel confident, but never enough to feel connected. The throttle response is immediate, but processed, linear, but predictable. The transmission shifts smoothly, efficiently, invisibly. This isn't by accident, it's by design. Modern cars are engineered to feel competent, capable, and completely inoffensive. They're optimized for the broadest possible appeal, which means stripping away anything that might alienate anyone. The result is cars that do everything well and nothing memorably. The quirks that used to define brands, Honda's high-revving eagerness, BMW's ultimate driving machine precision, Subaru's rally-bred rawness, they've all been smoothed over, normalized, made palatable. What we gained in refinement, we lost in identity. Chapter 2. The Tyranny of Regulation. Regulations aren't the villain here, but they are part of the story. Safety standards, emissions requirements, fuel economy targets. They all push manufacturers toward the same solutions. And when everyone is solving the same problems with the same constraints, the results inevitably converge. Crash test requirements dictate similar body structures. Emissions standards favor the same engine technologies. Fuel economy targets encourage identical aerodynamic shapes. Noise regulations ensure every car sounds muted, refined, acceptable. What used to be diverse approaches to automotive design have become variations on mandated themes. The engineers aren't lazy, they're brilliant. But they're brilliant within increasingly narrow constraints. You can't make a car that sounds raw and aggressive when noise regulations prohibit it. You can't make a car that feels light and tossable when safety requirements demand structural mass. You can't make a car with character when character often means inefficiency, and inefficiency is regulated out of existence. So manufacturers build to the regulations, and the regulations create sameness. Not intentionally, not maliciously, but inevitably, the space for differentiation keeps shrinking, and with it, the space for character. Chapter 3. Technology as the Great Equalizer. Modern technology is supposed to give us more choices, more options, more ways to personalize our experience. Instead, it's given us the same experience in different packages. Because the technology available to manufacturers is largely identical, and it all works toward the same goal: perfection. Electronic stability control keeps every car planted in corners. Adaptive dampers make every car ride comfortably over bumps and handle flat through turns. Turbocharging gives every engine the same immediate linear power delivery. Dual clutch transmissions shift with the same lightning-quick precision. Drive-by-wire throttle and brake-by-wire systems process your inputs through the same logic, smoothing out the rough edges, eliminating the mistakes. These systems are incredible. They make cars safer, faster, more capable than ever before. But they also make cars feel mediated. You're no longer directly connected to the mechanical components. You're interfacing with software that interprets your intentions and executes them perfectly, predictably, identically across brands. The character of a car used to come from its imperfections, its compromises, its particular way of doing things. But modern technology eliminates imperfection. It optimizes away compromise. It standardizes the particular into the universal, and in doing so, it erases the very things that made cars feel different from each other. Chapter 4. The Algorithm of Acceptability. Here's what manufacturers learned. Character is risky. Character means some people will love you and some people will hate you. Character means potentially smaller market share, harder to predict sales, reviews that might focus on your quirks rather than your competence. So they stopped building cars with character and started building cars with broad appeal. Cars designed by committee, tested by focus groups, refined until every edge is smooth and every opinion is positive. Cars that offend no one and excite no one. This is the algorithm of acceptability. Make the steering responsive, but not nervous. Make the ride firm, but not harsh. Make the engine powerful, but not unruly. Make the exhaust audible, but not intrusive. Every characteristic is dialed in to hit the middle of the acceptable range, the sweet spot where the most people will find it good enough. But good enough isn't good. It's just acceptable. It's competent without being compelling. It's capable without being charismatic. It's everything you need and nothing you want. The market rewards this approach. Cars that feel the same sell to the most people because they alienate the fewest. But what we're buying is automotive mediocrity dressed up in different sheet metal. The same car with different badges, sold to different demographics who think they're making different choices. Chapter 5. What we lost along the way. What we lost isn't just variety, it's the possibility of falling in love. Because you don't fall in love with competence, you fall in love with character, with quirks, with the specific way a particular car does a particular thing that resonates with who you are. You fall in love with the way an old Honda screams to 9,000 RPM, begging to be revved, with the way a classic Porsche 911's rear end steps out just enough to remind you it's alive, with the way a muscle car's V8 rumbles at idle, promising violence if provoked, with the way a Miata communicates every detail of the road through the steering wheel. These characteristics aren't flaws to be engineered away. They're the soul of the machine. They're what makes a car feel like it has a personality instead of just a specification sheet. They're what creates the bond between driver and machine that turns transportation into passion. Modern cars are better in every measurable way. They're faster, safer, more efficient, more reliable. But they're worse in the way that matters most to enthusiasts. They don't make you feel anything. They don't surprise you, challenge you, communicate with you. They just competently execute your commands with the same refined proficiency, regardless of whose name is on the hood. And maybe that's what most people want. Maybe the market is right to reward sameness. Maybe we're the dinosaurs clinging to outdated notions of character and soul in a world that values consistency and capability above all else. But walking through a modern car showroom feels like walking through a museum where all the paintings look the same. Different frames, different signatures, but the same brushstrokes, the same colors, the same safe, acceptable subject matter. Technically proficient, emotionally empty. The future of cars is here. It's smooth, quiet, capable, and utterly indistinguishable. And if you close your eyes and just feel, you might not be able to tell if you're driving a BMW or a Mercedes or a Lexus or an Audi. They're all the same car now, just wearing different costumes.